Hey guys, it's Will. So the race for AI dominance is fueling a hidden gold rush in data centers right now. And we're going over the top 5 data center stocks to watch before the summer ends. And also, here's the kicker. For a limited time, when you join Stockmates, I'll build you a custom profit plan with you. A one-on-one with myself is what you get, so you can get a target, get a target on some of your next moves with precision. So if you want to join us in our daily live sessions and get a one-on-one plan, again, it's the second link in the description below. Let's jump on into it. So today we're going over the top 5 data center stocks, and number one, or at least the first one we're covering, can kind of we'll kind of go through the values of them, but really the first one that we want to cover is going to be this this one right here, CRDO. CRDO is ticker symbol CRDO. Apparently my camera went out, so sorry about that, guys. It's really hot here in California today. Some electronics their batteries aren't lasting long, everything else. So no worries, don't worry about that. So basically, CRDO is a company that is specializing in data centers. They've had an insane run recently up into all-time highs of about $125 a share. They've been really just extending themselves up into these highs. And we start to see this trend stay very, very consistent. Something like this really for the last few months. This is how it's looked. So their trend has been pretty consistent, really holding into that rising support level. So higher lows and higher highs. And you see them holding above that 200-day moving average very consistently. And the reason we wanted to follow this company, CRDO, it is Credo Technology Group Holding, and they specialize in data center investments. And let's pull up their company here, Credo. Let's see, CRDO. Let's pull it up. Go to their company here. Head over to Investor Relations, get an idea of what is going on. They got their financial results here. Okay, so this is a company that has really been starting to gain some momentum as a data center company. And the reason why we like to follow kind of data center technology software is because this is the industry that's really powering a lot of what is the AI focus right now for the markets. And so one of the levels we've seen recently, this resistance here at a dollar or $130 a share, is kind of in that range that we've been watching closely and seeing as they've pulled back recently. Kind of still looking a little overextended. I mean, if we take a step back, we go down to the 1 day, it's looking like, wow, they're really up there on the RSI, looking like more on the overbought side. They've been just running up. But why might they still be? I mean, right now it looks like they're going to pull back. But why are they a company we have on our list? Well, one of the things that we really try to focus on here is to get into a habit of finding high-speed connectivity hardware, finding the companies that allow AI to grow. And this company has come in with some really good financials. They year over year have seen growth here of about 126% year over year change in revenue. So seeing that revenue increase, they recently reported about $170 million in revenue with a positive net income, and their market cap's about $20 billion. When you look at their total assets, they've been really rising total assets annually. They've been growing a lot. So they're more right now in the near term looking a little bit more on the overbought side. Part of the reason why we have them here is because, you know, they are in the right markets that we like to follow. And they have this software that they build out for data centers. They are really increasing their revenues as a result of some of the technologies that they're putting out. So that's why we have them here at the first one we want to go over. Now, the number one spot, I wouldn't say so. They're up there in that resistance level. They're now at all-time highs. They're looking a little bit overbought, but just wanted to get them on the radar here as one of the top data center companies, smaller data center companies to keep a close eye on. Number 2 here is going to be called VNet. So VNet, they've had some spikes and some runs up here. They've had runs up to $44. They've had runs up to about $16 recently. And they were down just about 0.75% today. So back in February, they made that run to about $16. See them pull back down into this 200-day moving average and find some support here at this level around $5-6 a share, push back up to $9.50, and they've recently sold back down just a little bit. So this is a company, VNets, that has come in with some good financials as well. You can see that they're a data center service provider, and they're actually in China, so higher risk than some other companies you might expect. But this is interesting, and what I think brings down the risk is that they do data centers, exclusive operator of Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365 services in China, and also houses data centers for Alibaba and other Chinese companies. So they're kind of the data center companies that are working in China. And while a lot of the companies we cover are US based, I thought it was interesting that they were working with not just Chinese companies, but a lot of companies in the US, and seeing their revenue really just increase year over year and annually was good indication that they were going to continue some growth. Now, their assets have been fairly high here, up to about $38 billion, and their market cap is just about $2 billion in market cap. So PE ratio there, they're pretty high. They're looking okay. I do think that they're a company in data centers that could have some potential, and that's why I got them here on the list. Another one I could actually add, which we don't have on the list today, is ANET. So VNet, that's going to be one we'll watch. We got this support level here. Might even see more of a sell down. Kind of got this this trend happening here. Maybe they continue up, but conservatively, we could see them sell down into this range. Probably around about $7 a share would be a better entry for the company. Right now, we're just watching it. We don't have any positions, but we are watching it and looking for something like this, kind of an entryway. Maybe we get that pull down here, or potentially we could enter right here and just have a very clear plan and just execute the plan accordingly. But ideally, we want the probabilities in our favor. Probably want to get a little bit of a better deal. I see it pull down. Maybe that RSI could look a little more favorable, like back here when it was at a buy range in April. Right here, you could see maybe a pull down here into this $7 range for VNet. So VNet, again, a data center company. They're one I've been kind of following, looking more at their products, and I do think that it's interesting that they work with Chinese companies, but it is also kind of key that they work with US companies, big tech companies in the Chinese market, which I thought was interesting. Now, I also want to kind of take a moment here to have a bonus pick. This isn't necessarily like a data center company, but they do supply a lot of the infrastructure for data centers, and it's called Supermicro. So Supermicro, we've seen really building their market cap. They're kind of in a similar situation right now to that of VNet we just took a look at. They have this trend kind of playing out right now, and it looks like they're kind of selling down at the moment. So we're kind of looking for kind of a similar deal where maybe we get a little more of a sell down, a little bit more of that correction continuing before we could potentially enter somewhere here around $40 or something like that. What's good to know about Supermicro is they're providing the chips for, not the chips, the housing for the chips, the GPU housing units for XAI. They also work with, I think it's Intel and Dell, so they're an interesting pick there as well. And also, why they stand out to me is because they supply these high performance servers for AI infrastructure, and they have these liquid cooling systems for data centers, which really increases the efficiency of the data centers. So right now it's trading roughly like 1.3x the sales, so like 22x their PE ratio. So it's not extreme multiples, but they're definitely looking a little slim on the valuation, and that's why we're looking maybe a pull down at this $40 range could make a lot of sense there for supermicro computer. So that's what we got going there. Now, when it comes to number 3, the one that I've been following as well for data centers that most people should probably know about is going to be the TSSI. TSSI. So we've been watching them. They made this run up here. We were able to trade them in some of this consolidation. They started to pull back down, and they're now back down into these levels of previous resistance. So we got to see this kind of double top here. They pulled back down. They're now approaching this previous resistance here, and that's a key level we're going to be watching here. So you got this slow market cap build. They kind of pulled back down again to this previous resistance, and we're going to see if they can bounce and maybe make some kind of move like this, maybe like a 10 to 20% bounce here, or we see them potentially continue up more. Now, overall market direction is a factor here for sure, but as they are a data center company to watch closely, we have them on our list. Why do we have them on our list? Well, TSSI or TSS Inc. here is building out data center networking and technology, and they've had some volatile earnings, but their revenue has been going up for the most part year over year. Their revenue is up about 261%, and quarterly, we've seen them actually come in with positive net incomes, which is always a good sign. So bringing in revenue and staying positive, with their quarterly or annual balance sheet surging to about 140 million in assets, with their liabilities still a little high there, about 129 million. But overall, we're seeing that they are keeping on track for their revenue growth. It's just a little more volatile. So that's why we're kind of, just watching right now, haven't jumped into the company, kind of seeing how they react here. If we get something like a bounce here at 1750, start to see it push up from 1750, we could look for potentially a buy. Now, I also want to know what you guys think. How many of you guys are looking at the companies like this that are building out data center companies? Do you have any ticker symbols you're watching? By all means, go ahead and comment them in the live chat, and I would love to hear what you're following. Now, the other thing to note about AI is that as AI continues to grow, data centers are going to be one of the main infrastructures that will allow for AI to basically scale. So kind of the way that I see it is we're kind of trusting in the development of AI and seeing that there is a more continuation of this trend that data centers continue to get some momentum. And they are getting a lot of momentum. We're seeing a lot more investments from big tech in them. And that kind of brings us here to number 4. And number 4 is going to be APLD. So APLD is a stock we've covered pretty extensively, and you can see CoreWeave on our list as well. And feel free to screenshot the list if you'd like. But basically, APLD is building data centers in these different markets that are either they would start out a little more on the Bitcoin mining side. Now they're kind of going into the AI infrastructure side of things, and they build these data centers here that they construct for big tech, and they have these wind turbines along with the solar panels and things that they focus on for the point of generation. So the reason we have them here, they're already partnered with Supermicro Computer. They work with NVIDIA and Dell and Intel, Hewlett Packard there. And they actually have a fairly large deal with CoreWeave. So CoreWeave is one of the hyperscalers that they've been working with. And CoreWeave has definitely seen some momentum as of recently, becoming a top AI player that is building out some data centers. So definitely looking at Applied Digital as kind of the catalyst for a few companies to be able to construct those data centers. And they really focus and pride themselves on designing the data centers efficiently, liquid cooling, energy sources that are renewable, really looking for scalability, advanced networking, and minimizing the carbon footprint through renewable energy use is their main focus. And I think that's really where a lot of companies are going. You see $500 billion from Apple investing in manufacturing and data centers in the US. We see more companies building in the US. So most likely Applied Digital is going to be a top company to watch for the construction. Now, the other thing for Applied Digital, while we look at their chart, they've kind of been on this trend here and they have gotten up into these levels of about $14 a share. They got this level here. It's a previous resistance they've been kind of getting up into. We've said, hey, there's a support here, a previous resistance about $14. Can they hold it? We've seen them hold it, and they've really started to continue this direction. So they sold down, kind of validated it, and now they're trying to really continue up into even higher levels here, APLD. So some of the levels they're targeting are up here in this $17 range to $20 range. That's where a lot of the targets are right now. So just for the margin for profit, of course, we got about $14 support. We're looking for this run up into about 28% margins for APLD. They look overbought at the moment. We could see them even sell back down as they're on the overbought side. That's how things are looking. Now, I see a few comments here. Elvis is in here. Hello, what's going on, Kush? You got Raymond, Biggie. Hey, what's going on? You got Tanette is here. You got Marty is here. Jim, appreciate you. Thanks, Matt, for tuning in. So, Luis is here. Good to see you. Any comments on C3 AI? I don't know where C3 AI is at now, but we don't cover them too much because we were missing the real world usage. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that stock. I haven't looked at them in a couple months. I think we did some analysis back in January and saw some red flags, so we didn't get into it. If I remember what it was, and maybe things have changed by now, so I don't know if you're bullish on it or what you're looking at, but I think it was that they had said they were partnered with Microsoft, and then we dove deeper, and it was just like a certification that anybody can get. Like I could go get that certification basically, which kind of made it seem like they weren't as legit. So I don't know what's going on with them. Couldn't tell you. Aaron Johnson says, watching this on my way to the gym. This is my type of pre-workout. Let's go, man. Hey, let's get it. Get that gym workout. Let's go. Appreciate it. What's going on? Jay Zeb says, hey, Will, what's up from New York? Hey, what's going on? Glad to have you here. Alex says, TSSI made it on your list. Good evening. Yeah, we got it there. Sentinel 1. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so really what we're going to focus on here, energy companies, Michael says like Oklo for data centers. That's a whole nother thing, energy companies. But when it comes to legit or specifically to the point of generation data centers, these are the companies we're watching. So APLD is a long-term hold. I have personally been investing them for a while, and we had no movement really here on any of the stocks after hours. Didn't see anything really come into play. But we're definitely watching APLD as we're a long-term holder. They did kind of push up. They're up to highs right now around $15 a share. So maybe we see them sell back down a little bit. But again, we continue to kind of hold them long-term and look for those short-term plays. Now, the other company that we have here for our last data center stock is going to be AMD. Now, AMD is a stock that we've invested in pretty consistently here. They actually had a really good day today, up to about $185 a share, which is awesome. We just made a video about them yesterday, and that we were looking for this 11% move here. And it looks like they did make about 5% of the swing. They continued up into that 182. So that's always good to see. Now, I do think when we're looking at AMD, it's good to note that their main competitor with NVIDIA, they're pretty large, and they've been trying to make this run up into these previous highs of over $200 a share. They've been running up, and we got positions open there. We're up about 80% right now. But if you're looking at AMD and you're looking at them right now, does it make sense for them to buy them? Well, personally, if I was looking at AMD, anytime for long-term investments, just kind of building an AMD shares, I think is a good way to go. Kind of the long-term perspective of AMD looks great. They're partnered with Starlink. They are building out data centers for some of the top tech companies in the world. And they really are, if you look at NVIDIA, Jensen started working at AMD before he started NVIDIA. I don't know if people know that. But AMD at one point was, bigger than NVIDIA. And so, they're just they're really getting their way back into the market. They got, their CEO is pretty good. Time Magazine CEO of the year, and actually the cousin of NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen, which is funny. But basically, they're not only building more data centers right now, but they're building GPUs that are being seen as more effective and actually better than some of NVIDIA's GPUs. And if that's the case, seeing them in their financials currently, they're right now around about $299 billion market cap. They could potentially be, a top company around that's, $600 billion to $1 trillion company. So that's why we've been holding them. Johnny says, I've been building out my long term on AMD due to everything, especially the Starlink. Yeah, exactly. Starlink is going to be one of the top players that is in the space companies, and we've seen that AMD is providing the microchips for Starlink, which is why I like them. They're actually, there's a question there that says, Will, what's your favorite stock? I mean, actually, AMD has been my favorite stock. They continue to sell off and sell off and sell off despite doubling their revenue and really having good earnings. And we've been, averaging in and always buying into AMD long term. So, I have them as actually one of my top favorite stocks, AMD for sure. And that's why I wanted to add them on this list. They build a lot of data centers. And not only that, they're also working with big tech already. So plugging into their systems is pretty easy. And we've seen them stair step up into this level. Right now, they stair stepped back up into that $184 range. So right now, they got this support level that they're trying to break, or this resistance level they're trying to break above about $1 or $185 a share. If they can hold above it, that's the next support level for them, and we could look to see them find that support and potentially continue their run up. Otherwise, we might see them even correct down. It's possible if we do see a greater market a sell-off or something like that. But really what I would look for on a shorter term trade, maybe a pullback. We see pullbacks here on AMD, pretty heavily right at market open. When it does pull back, it usually happens right at market open. Like this morning, we were tuned in live this morning. The first thing that AMD did was actually pull down to about $168 a share today. That was right here, or this was right here at market open yesterday, And a lot of times when we enter, it's going to be right around that market open session. So you can kind of see like this was market open. We saw it sell down until about 7 o'clock. And usually that's, the patience we have and where our entries usually end up coming in on these types of stocks. And that's where the opportunity was for them. And we see them really recover about 10% since then. Another one we oftentimes trade in the short term is going to be AMDL. So they are the 2X of this AMD stock. So that's why we have them there. They are building for Starlink, they're building data centers, and they are building GPUs for a lot of the future of AI. So that's why we got them at one of our top companies here for the AI boom. What we're seeing for what's happening in the markets right now in this AI boom, AMD is one of the top companies that's really been on trend for the past few months. So that's going to do it. Those are the 5 top stocks in data centers that I'm watching right now. Hope it's been helpful for you guys. Hope that you get value out of it. Again, camera didn't work for some reason. I think that something's going on with the camera battery. So hopefully, not having the camera on is okay for you. Appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. If you want to join us in our daily live trading session, it's happening tomorrow at market open. Exactly 12 hours from now, we'll be going live at market open. So if you want to be there, you get a reminder about 15 minutes before market open, you get a reminder, and we'll be looking to trade some of the stocks we just went over as we normally do. And if you want to join us again, it's the second link down below. We'd love to see you guys there. The other tool that we oftentimes use in the market open session is this profit calculator. If you want to grab it, we use it quite often. You can get it for free. Just go to that first link in the description and then we send it over in your email. If you want that stock profit calculator, it's a tool I made. You can grab it, use it as much as you want if you'd like. Again, it's that first link down below. And when it comes to other tools, we also like to use our Mercatus tool. We use this tool quite often. It's for charting your financial future of different stocks. And essentially how it works is you could search any stock and get an analysis on it. So we could search AMD stock. This is a stock we oftentimes just go over. Right now we have OpenAI in here as well as Grok for the AI analysis. So you could choose which AI model you want to do the analysis, and we can get an idea. It's pulling the relative financials, it's skimming the press releases, it's looking at the verifiable sources, it's tying that relativity to the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 6 month, and it's giving us these projections. And it's looking bullish here. And so, essentially we're looking at some of the charts, and it can tell us kind of why it's projecting that. So it can give us a reasoning for why the company is projecting to go up as much as it is. We can kind of see what the AI here is saying. In this case, we're using the OpenAI model to get an analysis. And so we'll definitely be using this tool more if you ever want to get an eye into how we use it. Again, I would love to share with you more on the channel, so make sure to subscribe. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in. I see some good comments here. You got, let's see, Michael says, what's your favorite AI stock? Yeah, I think it's going to be, for data centers, probably AMD, definitely like APLD. Johnny says, something that made me nervous, NVTS, but NVIDIA is backing them so heavily, made me wonder. Yeah, that's another interesting one for chips, NVTS. JZav. Would like to hear about Redwire. Would love to do some more analysis there for you. Definitely do some more analysis for Redwire. Songlang Hawk says, how optimistic are you with APLD getting more contracts with other companies? Would they announce it for up and coming earnings? Yeah, they would definitely announce it. More than likely they would. Alex says, Daniel's true, but remember, lots of companies have good backers and they still fall. Everyone has their own strategy. I just learned a long time ago not to believe in the hype. Exactly. That's a great take. Yeah, always be wary of, they got all this backing, it's going to be insane. You got to be careful with companies like that. Steven, peace. Johnny, fair and very true. Steven says, I hope Grok stands for something, because otherwise that name sucks. That's funny. Grok to me sounds like a rock, so I kind of like it. Anyway, appreciate you all. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.